I was listening to BTS, and I went to the front of the store. One of my coworkers is one of like the door greeters. I was walking by and I was like, hello. And then I was just like, do you like K-pop?
What the hell?
And like the most surprising thing happened. She like turned bright red and just like yelled at me. She's like, who told you?
The dark secret revealed. Hello, listeners, and thank you for tuning into Those Nerds Over There. This is an enthusiast podcast centered around celebrating and discussing nerd culture. We're your hosts. I'm Alan.
And I'm Sal.
And, we forgot to do this last time because we're terrible people, but a special belated birthday to family member of the show, Eloy.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Eloy.
He turned 23.
Oh, he's my age.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he's your age.
Hey, well, good luck, Eloy, and enjoy your gaming laptop.
Yes, whenever he buys that. Actually, me and my sister actually got him a gaming headset. So.
You know, those are basically the same thing.
No. One costs extremely much more money. But he said he forgot it was his birthday. And I was like, wow, you're getting old. And he just came back at me. He's like, yeah, how old are you? Like 50? I was like, all right. You know, I retract my last statement.
Nice. He's always got... Why is it that that's like the thing that we do? We just make fun of people for being old. Why?
It's fun because we're not actually old. But, you know, we'll find out. And, like, when we are 50, I wonder if we're still going to be making fun of our age.
That just reminded me. I was in lab one time with the other, like, undergrads that were my age, and then in the corner of our lab we just started like freaking out because we were 22. And then from across the lab the postdocs were like, hey guys, nuh-uh, cut that out.
Right.
I'm like, and then we all just started laughing.
Oh man, it's kind of great.
We can laugh at our mortality.
We can, yes. Anyway.
Right, but this isn't a show about our deaths. This is a show about nerd culture, so let's answer a question.
Yes.
That sounds right, right?
Right.
This is what we call the nut jar. It's a jar we emptied of nuts, and it's filled with listener-submitted questions that are fun kind of discussion questions that kind of let us talk to you guys. Let's go. Oh, this one's an old one.
Ooh.
This one is one of the old nuts.
I like that.
This week's question comes from my old roommate, Forrest. He is a streamer, but he was actually on one of our episodes as a guest star.
Yes.
Yeah. He loves Tekken, and that's actually what he streams. And you can find him on Twitch, twitch.tv/Kahoy. That's KAHOYY. And he asks, best Spider-Man, ?
Best Spider-Man?
Best Spider-Man.
Like... person or movie? I feel like we've had this question.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I think Hazel asked something similar.
I don't know if that was a question we had or that we had just been discussing Spider-Man because Venom was in the news.
You're probably right. We discussed Spider-Man a lot on this, actually.
We do. I mean, like, recent Spider-Man's been so good, though.
It has been.
So, like, you can't blame us.
Yeah. By the way, the Spider-Man is foreshadowing. Just saying.
Your favorite Spider-Man is foreshadowing?
You'll find out.
Okay. Well, I think mine is pretty obvious because I keep talking about it, but it's the Peter B. Parker from the Into the Spider-Verse.
What? No. I could not have foreseen this.
I'm gonna stab you. Yes, I'm obsessed with Into the Spider-Verse. I think if we're gonna talk about best movies, I think that's the best movie. We're talking about best character. I think it's Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yay!
I kind of want to lean towards like Spider-Gwen as a person, but I don't know as much about her.
Like, she's definitely cool.
Yeah, she's definitely cool, but I haven't, like, I've seen her pop up in some comics and stuff, but I don't know as much about her to be like, yeah, she's the best. So I'll just put her as a close second, because Peter B. Parker, man.
Like, Peter, like, Spider-Man is cool and she's badass and she's great, but like, how many superheroes do we get that are like just the hot mess, the casual, the super relatable? Like,
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Spider-Man is supposed to be known for being relatable. So I wouldn't say regular Spider-Man isn't. It's just he's a like perfect blend of modern society.
I don't know. The normal Spider-Man was always just like a super smart, overachieving student that seemed to do pretty well in life.
Can you not relate to that?
That is all.
I see. All right, that's fair. Maybe it was just a time period kind of thing. I don't know. I think Miles Morales is pretty down to earth, though.
Yeah, actually, like, there's so much character, like, culture stuff, I guess, put into his character that's very relatable.
Yeah, but he is the modern Spider-Man.
Is he?
Yeah, for the most part, because, well, I mean, because of comics, Peter's still around because comics, but Miles was supposed to take his place, so there's that. I don't want to get into the logistics of that.
I hadn't even heard of Miles until Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, wow, no. Yeah, he's been around for a while. The more you know.
So, wow, are we unanimous? It's going to be Into the Spider-Verse and Peter B. Parker?
Absolutely. We agreed on something! And I don't think we have to talk about how amazing Into the Spider-Verse is for the billionth time.
For the billionth time. I mean, I'm glad to sing its praises just like whenever.
Right.
For like the most recent piece of like media I bought, it was Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, nice. It's out already?
I mean, it's been out for a while, but I was like...
I don't keep track of these.
No, because we don't get commercials anymore.
Oh, you're right.
But it's like, I'm seriously considering buying it on like some kind of physical media.
It would be nice to buy some kind of deluxe edition.
Oh, dude, I need to do that. The Adventure Time like complete series collection came out. I need that.
Nice. I just remembered last night so I've been wanting to play Fire Emblem, or a new Fire Emblem.
I recall.
And I remembered that I pre-purchased the deluxe edition of that, or the whatever it was called, the 3 heroes set. I don't know.
It's like Warforged or something.
Yeah, but I purchased that, and I'm like, oh, I get to I get to have that when it comes out. That's gonna be fun.
I've never had like art books from video games before.
Oh.
But I know you've bought like deluxe editions and stuff before. How is it? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's a nice little collectible. The one I do remember is they had an art book for Fire Emblem Awakening, which I had purchased. And the art book was cool because it showed like shows pre-drawings of these characters and what they would have looked like with like different hairstyles or body shapes and stuff.
Oh, the concept art.
Yeah, and it's nice to see like where they started and how they ended up. But it's usually just like a collectible. You usually don't get much more than what you already know. And especially because the internet, you can probably get access to these kinds of things easy. But they're cool.
Was it nice? I don't know. It's always like, because money's always tight, right? I never know if like, oh, can I spare the money for this cool thing?
Oh, I know. I do it anyway.
Yeah, no, that's right. You know better than anyone.
What are financial boundaries? Anyway.
Favorite Spider-Man, people.
There you go.
What are your favorite Spider-Man? The
Or
characters,
women.
the movies. There you go. I know Kazel like is like into Silk, I believe.
Ooh.
Which I only know a little bit about. Like something about her blood is needed to kill every Spider-Man.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, feel free to send us your favorite Spider-Man because we want to talk at those Nerdcasts on Twitter. Before we move on to the things that got us excited this week, we wanted to give a special thank you to Johnny. He is our first patron on our Patreon, and it's thanks to him and his support that we can make this show.
Yeah!
You rock.
Eternally grateful for sure.
Sal,
Yes.
what'd you get excited about this week?
All right, so my topic this week is going to be a double feature.
Ooh.
So last week I kind of went, not as exciting or not as positive, and I was going to do the same thing again this week, but I didn't want to do that much, so I got something that was not very exciting and something that I am really excited for.
Okay, cool. Lay it on us.
Yes. So the first thing is I went and saw the movie Brightburn.
Ooh. I've seen so much promotional material for that movie now.
I know, it's weird that this kind of niche film is getting so much promotion. Anyway, Brightburn is a movie that got released on May 24th, and it is written by Brian Gunn, Mark Gunn, directed by David Jarovesky, and then it's produced by James Gunn. And the thing is, like, this thing is kind of being, like, it's like plastered everywhere, produced by James Gunn, right?
Right, because, he's hot right now.
Yeah, but so when I went on IMDb, like, they don't even mention the producers of films. They always just mention the writer and directors.
Whoa.
So I was like, what is a producer's actual involvement in a movie? And so I had to look that up. And it turns out producers are usually people that, like, will pick out a script and, oversee casting and, like, editing and stuff. They don't actually, it's more of the logistics and marketing than it is, like, actual creative, decisions about the film and stuff in general.
Huh.
And so, technically, he'd had nothing really to do with this movie. He's just a producer. And that makes so much sense because as I was watching it, I was like, this isn't something he would make.
Oh. Okay, well now I'm interested in about the actual content of the movie.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a spoiler warning because I am going to spoil the movie. I know Alan doesn't care about spoilers.
Hello.
But I'm just going to say this here now first. If you've seen the trailer, you've basically seen the movie.
Really?
Which kind of sucks.
Well, all right then.
Yeah. So, first of all, the plot of this movie is essentially, what if Superman was a power-hungry sociopath sent to Earth to take over the world instead of save it? That's essentially what the plot of the movie is. And it has, like, so many similarities to Superman and his origin story that it's kind of, it's kind of too much, like, too similar, where you feel like you've seen this movie 100 times already. If it wasn't for some of the horror aspects of it, you wouldn't really know it wasn't, like, a Superman story.
Right. That's like why I wasn't a big fan of the second Spider-Man reboot. It was just like, well, I know this story.
Yeah. So, the movie, it takes place in Kansas. Superman. One night, a boy, crash lands to Earth in a spaceship. He's a baby at the time, and then two two people raise him as his own, and then so that's harkening back to, you know, the Kent family. He lives on a farm, same as the Kent family, and he's raised as a good, like, he's raised as a good person, but he's not a good person. And, like, the parents are actually pretty good parents, too, so it's kind of weird because this kid, which is, I'm pretty sure his name is Brandon. I did not even look it up because I don't care that much. Yeah. And he starts off as this kind of like, you know, just this kid who's trying to get by. But then you start to realize that he's not a great person. Like, he talks back to his parents a lot, and he's actually kind of creepy because he meets this other character who's supposed to be like the Lana Lang, which was Superman's childhood friend. And he kind of is a creep to her, and she ends up being like, oh, I don't want to be near this guy. And he ends up breaking her hand.
Oh, okay.
Which isn't great. And so, yeah, then he finds out who he is. He finds out he's an alien, and he has these powers. And then he turns into a complete psychopath and starts, like, murdering the whole city and all the people he cares about, just because.
Is this city? Is this like in an urban setting now, or is this still in a rural setting?
It's still in a rural setting. So, I mean, there are only like, what, 7 characters in total. And they pretty much all end up dying. So, yeah, it's this weird thing because it's telling the story about this character and how he's an alien and where he comes, or not even where he comes from, because that's never mentioned, and kind of his origin story, right? It kind of sets it up for it to maybe have some kind of sequel, but like, there's no character development in this main character or any of the characters in general. Like, I feel like it's kind of telling just like the history of this character, which you don't even care about.
Just a twisted reimagining of like Superman's origin story then?
Yeah. And it kind of sucks because I mean, at least for me, because since I know the Superman mythos so well, I've seen better versions of this.
With like the Soviet version, right?
Yeah. That's Red Sun Superman. And then they do a good version of this in Injustice because he was good and then he turns evil. In this, in Brightburn, he's just a complete, like, monster.
He's just evil to begin with, basically.
Yeah, and I wish they did something to at least make you empathize with them. Because, all the characters end up being like, yeah, no, this kid needs to die.
Dang, okay.
And you're like, yeah, no, this kid needs to die.
Well, that's a little sad. I thought based on the trailers it was going to be like something about, you know, bullies in your childhood that kind of make you that way.
Into it, like, yes, that's exactly what I thought they were going to do too. And they show that, like, little bullying part, but it's like one scene.
Aww.
And they never really give any other indication as to why this kid is gonna turn into this monster. He just does, and it kind of sucks.
I mean, yeah, that sucks. It's depressing. It feels like, I don't know, now I'm getting a little worked up.
Right?
It's like spitting on the Superman origin, not just like twisting it.
Yeah, and you say like, yeah, it's just depressing. The movie's just depressing. Like, there's no you come out of it and you're just there was no thing they're trying to, like, no underlying message they were trying to give you or anything. It was just depressing.
That's a story, right? I just want to know, like, what about the actual horror elements? Because I remember watching the trailer and getting a little fucked up when having to watch a lady pull shards of glass out of her eye.
Yeah. So when it comes to the horror elements, it's very much body horror. And the way these people die, there's not really any jump scares or anything. So the horror aspect is kind of not that great either. I might be a little biased because I watch a lot of horror. And so I know, like, what good horror is, but it wasn't very scary. There was just, when people died, it was like very gruesome, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. It kind of sucks. It was nice to see like a lot of the parallels they did make with Superman. There was some moments that I was like, oh, this was pulled from Smallville. So that was cool.
Ooh.
But yeah, they didn't they didn't do much with it, and I think maybe if you know nothing about Superman, it might be somewhat enjoyable.
But that seems unlikely.
Yeah, because I feel like this was a movie made for those like superhero fans. So I don't know like what they were trying to do. And they actually go out of their way to like, so like the mask, in the trailer, he puts on the mask and the mask is super creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually kind of reminds me of Cthulhu for some reason.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And they kind of hint at this because all these symbols are being written, and there's this one point where you see this girl that got killed and she's kind of sacrificed essentially with all these symbols around it, and he has that weird mask, and I was like, oh, is this some kind of like weird thing? But that never gets brought up again. And then they also have this thing when he first finds out about his spaceship, it like kind of starts talking to him in this like weird voice, and you can see maybe he's being possessed by it. So maybe that's why he's turned into a monster. But they never mentioned that again either. And then when he's like not doing evil things, he's like still like very much a bad person. And when you think about it, he was a bad person the whole time. So I don't know what they were trying to do with that either. And so I feel like there was something there too, and they just never... There's a lot of like elements to this movie that could have been really interesting, but they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, a lot of, just from the sound of that, a lot of loose threads, right?
Yeah. And then and then the movie just ends. So, spoiler, everyone dies, essentially.
Everyone? Even the boy?
Well, not the boy. He kills everyone.
Oh, even his mother.
He kills his mother, too, which was the only part where I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. Because the mother was the only person I kind of connected with, because it's this whole thing where no matter how good of a parent you are, like, and if your son or your child turns into a monster, like, what do you do? And so she ends up trying to kill him.
Whoa.
But he's just like, nah, I'm killing you. And so she ends up dying too. And that's kind of a sad moment because it, like, as she's dying, she puts, like, her hand on his face and, like, mouths, like, I love you or whatever, or you'll always be my boy. But he's just, like, so, like, empathetic. He doesn't care. Like, he didn't even care that he killed his parents. So it's kind of hard to feel for this character when he's just doesn't care about anything.
That's just sad then. Oh, yeah. Man. Brightburn.
I know. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. That's like the whole movie. It's just like one death after the other, and then it ends, and it gives you this like kind of post-credit scene-ish, where it's did you watch Justice League?
Which one? Oh, the live action one?
Yeah.
No.
Did you watch Man of Steel?
No.
All right. Well, in those movies, they have these moments where people are like taking films on like their camera of like the acts of Superman, where like you'll see him like just flying in the sky, like it looks like it's like home recorded camera footage of him doing these good deeds. And so the end credit scene is like people doing the same thing, except it's this kid like wreaking havoc on the world.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then it ends there, so like it's kind of left up in the air, like what happens next? Did he destroy the world, or is there gonna be some kind of sequel? And I mean, at this point I don't really want there to be a sequel unless there's gonna be like a protagonist that has to kill this guy.
Well, I'm not so sure about a sequel, but now it's got me wondering about like this genre of just like taking making movies about superhero origins but twisting them.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, can we get more?
I would love to see more done right, because I think like these twists on superhero origins and stuff are usually always interesting and fun.
Right? Yeah, just look at DC Metal, right?
Yeah. So, well, that actually ended up being incorporated to the main storyline, but let's
Oh, wait, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, and I'd like it to be done right. Maybe if they had the real licensings of Superman, they could have done this right, because then it would actually be his story.
I don't think if it's gonna be good, it doesn't have to be like the name brand, right? At least I don't think it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does it, but I feel like if it was his name brand, then they would have certain obligations to do certain things and not make him a complete monster, essentially, I guess.
Okay, interesting.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was just kind of like the end of Game of Thrones.
Oh no.
Where it's just like, it's just sad.
Alright, let's not get into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I didn't care for it that much, and I was really excited for it, which is kind of a bummer. So I say nay to this movie. I give it maybe a 4 out of 10.
Alright, Sal, now that you've given us that nice palate cleanser with Brightburn, what was the other thing you got excited about?
Alright, so the thing I got really excited about, since the other thing disappointed me, is something I have very high hopes that will not disappoint me. And that's the new Pixar animated film Onward.
Oh fuck! Yeah, that game, the trailer for that dropped.
Yeah, did you see it?
I did, of course. It's got Chris Pratt in it.
Oh my god, okay. So, a couple episodes back, we actually looked at the list of movies coming out, and Onward wasn't on them. Now we know that that's one of those movies.
Nice. Oh my god, I forgot about this one.
Yeah. So, it is a movie, a Pixar movie. It's gonna be released March 6, 2020, which is a long way away, unfortunately, but I'm sure it will be worth it. It is Pixar. It is directed and written by Dan Scallion, who did Monsters University.
Oh, yes, it's very that art style.
Yeah.
It looks like. Well, I mean, that's Pixar, though. But it, like, that mood.
Yeah. And it is produced by Corey Ray. And the two lead voice actors are Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
Woo! Speaking of Spider-Man.
There you go. The trailer actually says from the creators of The Incredibles, Toy Story, and Coco.
Isn't that just Pixar?
Right? But yeah, I was just wondering where they got that information, or they just tacked on those 3 movies because those movies are good?
Name dropper.
Right? So, the plot is, it is set in a suburban fantasy world. 2 teenage elf brothers, Ian and Barley Lightfoot, go on a journey to discover if there's still magic left out there in order to spend one last day with their father, who died when they were too young to remember him. And from the trailer, at least, I did not get this plot.
Yeah, no, there was nothing about a dead father.
And, dead father. I was like, oh, okay, yep, this is definitely a Pixar movie.
Is this a Pixar movie or a Fire Emblem game?
Maybe that's why Fire Emblem games are good.
Because of the dead father.
They're taking notes from Pixar. But yeah, I'm super excited. It is, as you said, it has that very clean Monsters University animation, and it's set in a fantasy world.
But not just a fantasy, it's that suburban fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna take some liberties in trying to quote Tom Kenny here, but he was talking about playing Ice King on the Adventure Time, and how some of the funniest things is just when you have this high magic or high fantasy just doing these super banal things.
Yeah, it's super cool. And they have you have so many liberties to do very creative things, like having a dragon as a pet dog.
They had unicorns eating out of the garbage like raccoons.
Unicorns essentially acting as raccoons, and everyone hates unicorns, which is pretty great. So I've been waiting for some kind of like fantasy setting in like a Pixar or Disney movie, because it's not something they really mess with. And I thought we were gonna get something like that from Brave when that came out like a long time ago, but we never did. So I'm super excited for this, and it kind of gives me some Zootopia vibes.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, the kind of like suburban, like, bringing animals into like the modern age, and this is bringing like fantasy characters into the modern age.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I mean, I'm sure the cast is already stacked with those two characters, but I'm sure it's going to be even better.
I think Octavia Spencer's in it too.
Yes, she is.
Yay!
So, there's only 4 characters announced right now, but...
I mean, we're a year away.
Yeah, we're a year away. I mean, we still... For a teaser trailer, that actually gave us a lot about, like, what the movie's going to be. And, so we're going to still be waiting on real trailers and more information about the movie, and I'm just super excited. Anything Pixar is usually always great, with some minor mishaps here and there, but we don't talk about those.
This one's gonna be great. It's gotta be, right? It's got it's a story about brothers, it's family, wholesome stuff. It's fantasy, sorta.
And when looking up this movie, I actually found out that the movie is actually inspired by the writer and director's own experiences with his brother when he lost his father at a young age.
Okay, then this is going to be like really good and really resonant.
Yes, it's going to be so wholesome, and I'm probably going to cry. It's going to be great.
By the end of 2019, I'm definitely going to have some tears I need to release, and I need this movie to get that out.
Yes. So... yeah, that's what I got excited about. There's not much else to say right now, unfortunately. Go watch the teaser trailer if you haven't, please. And, you have anything else to say?
Nah, it's just like, I saw the trailer, and it just makes me smile. The everyone else in the suburban neighborhood is just like, it looks like your normal, like, suburbia. Everyone is out there, but then you have, like, the Chris Pratt's character, the older brother, like drive up in his van. He's speaking in like the medieval way, enticing his brother to join.
He's speaking in the Thor voice.
Yeah, the Thor voice. It was just so cute,
Yeah. But anyway, Alan.
So,
what did you get excited about this week?
All right, so what I got excited about was we got a string of new Pokemon news.
Oh.
Yeah, and the reason I got excited wasn't just because it was Pokemon, it was because it was just super bizarre things.
Oh, wait, now I know.
Yeah, it was so weird, it just kind of made me happy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so like starting off, one, if you live in Japan or you want to do a destination wedding, you can now have an officially licensed from the Pokemon Company, Pokemon-themed wedding.
Hey, let's go. I see pictures of that with the Pikachus.
Yeah, they had those. They're repurposing the Pikachu costumes they use in like all the parades. And then like all of the wedding decor is like Pikachu themed.
That's so adorable. And why didn't they think about this before?
It's certainly very cute, but like, man, 2019, what the hell? We have a Pokemon like officially licensed. Like, it's not just a DIY wedding thing.
All right, listen. We got so much bad stuff going on. We need this, okay?
I don't know. I was like, I love it. It's great. It's just wacky, man.
Yeah, keep it up. Like, give us more weird crap.
Yeah, just shock the hell out of me. And then So, but then that was separate from the press conference we got from the Pokemon Company, which they were just announcing a bunch of like upcoming projects. We're getting more news on Sword and Shield.
Oh, yeah.
June 5th.
Yeah, it's going to be a Nintendo Direct, right?
Yeah, I believe so, but...
Or Pokemon Direct.
There we go. That one. It's actually the day this episode drops, so...
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exciting, because that's just, like, mainstream Pokemon. But we got to announce some phone apps for Pokemon.
Yep, let me add it.
Okay, so the least weird one was one called Pokemon Masters, which... phone game, it kind of actually looks like the traditional Pokemon battle system we're used to and not whatever Pokemon Go gave us. And you also get to like team up with the selling point of this one is you get to team up with your favorite characters from the Pokemon universe. And from the screenshot that we saw, you're fighting with Misty and Brock in a 3-on-3 battle.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't see this one.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you didn't?
No, maybe it's because the obscure one kind of took news coverage. But okay, I'm down for this.
Was it there's a fear in me about it being a phone game, but I'm not going to address it because it looks fun. And at one point you see Brock do a Z move where his shirt bursts off like an anime.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's like ripped.
I believe it. He's
And that's
the rock type.
That's true, but that's where that trailer ends.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, come on, like that's why I play Pokemon Showdown, right? Like I want to just do the battles.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, phone games have been getting better, I think.
They have. I think like I had been thinking about this the other day. It was like, why don't more game companies go to phones? Because isn't that one of the big issues with consoles? Like, do people own the console?
Yeah.
And everyone owns a phone now, for the most part.
So, it does seem like just a smart marketing move. But people don't tend to like phone games. That's probably why they're getting better.
I mean, we got some good ones. I stopped playing Fire Emblem Heroes, but Dragalia Lost has really taken my attention.
Oh, I still haven't played that.
No, you really haven't.
I know, I should. I actually looked into Grand Blue, but it's only available in Japan.
Yeah.
Why is my phone still on? I swear I turned you off.
Phone games, I think they're getting better. And, like, come on, we're getting what looks like a Pokemon phone game that looks like the Pokemon battling that we know and love.
Yeah, legit Pokemon.
And with characters that we love that apparently have their shirts burst off in anime fashion.
Oh my god. I just realized if I could not that. But if I could battle with Sabrina, that would make my day.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean that okay, you know about the one that takes the cake though. The other thing that the Pokemon people announced, or actually no, wait, there was one other thing they announced called Pokemon Home, which is they're making a phone app online Pokemon storage solution now. In the past we had things like Pokemon Bank and stuff where you would just transfer your Pokemon online to store.
Uh-huh.
You know, that was mostly a feature for like people that do competitive Pokemon that have to like breed a bunch of Pokemon, or people that were like me and you're trying to assemble like a complete living dex, or you just couldn't bring yourself to throw away breed decks. So they're making like this phone app version that is going to be compatible with like all our Switch games right now, and Pokemon Go on the phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a real life, what are they called? It's just the PC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a real life PC, Bill's PC.
There you go.
But, like, we don't have a lot of news on this, but it reminded me of how, like, on the Wii, during the DS era, we had Pokemon Ranch as our, like, version of our Pokemon storage, and that was just, like, a really cutesy farm you put the Pokemon on, and then you would just, like, play with them like a Nintendogs kind of style.
Yeah.
And I really, like... That would be so cute for if they did that for Pokemon Home. And not just being like a glorified box, like, you know, make it like an actual kind of mini game you can play with them.
Right, like the I don't know. I think it was in X and Y, like how you do kind of the Eevee training
Oh,
where you can like feed them and like play with a ball and pet them and stuff.
there was an Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, like, you could play sports with them.
Okay, yeah, that was an X and Y too. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or something more.
All right, but unfortunately, like I said, for a lot of these, we don't have that much news, and they're all slated to come out early 2020. All right, the really bizarre one that got announced was called Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, it's made by the same people, I think, that did the Magikarp jump game.
Uh-huh.
The Pokemon Company's attempt at gamifying your sleep.
I don't have words for this.
All right, so what we know is, like, it's a sleep tracker app, which I actually do use a sleep tracker in real life because my sleep is awful.
I see.
A Pokemon-themed sleep tracker app that is also a game that you play by sleeping. And it's gonna have some like cross like compatibility with Pokemon Go, and to support that, they're releasing something called the Pokemon Go Plus Plus.
Okay.
Yes, the most like bizarrely named piece of external hardware.
Right.
I don't know. That's just like what in Pokemon Go, the Pokemon Company got us to get out and exercise, and now they're trying to fix our sleep schedule. What's going on here? Like, are we gonna get Pokemon intermittent fasting next?
Little did you know that it was actually the Pokemon that were gonna take over the world.
Not the AI.
Not the AI.
Well, I mean, as bizarre as this sounds, right? You've got you're using like Pokemon to help track your sleep, and like honestly, I might trust the Pokemon Company with my sleep like metric data more than the other health companies I use.
Oh, that's a sad truth right there.
Yeah, I don't suspect the Pokemon Company of anything malicious with that data. But I don't, like, what year are we living in?
Wait, unless they're gonna try to take over the world. Anyway.
Like, let's be honest, of like the potential company, conglomerate, whatever, overlords, I'd be okay with the Pokemon Company.
That's what they want you to think.
But yeah, like, that was all the Pokemon news we got within like the last week. It's like crazy and bizarre, but like super fun, and like, I don't know. I mean, for me, a great distraction from the rest of the world.
Right. And it's one of those things where I didn't know I needed this until until you showed it to me.
Oh no, I need it. So that's what we got excited about this week. Thank you so much for enthusing with us. If you enjoyed what you heard, share with the buddies so you can nerd out together. If you have any recommendations for improvements, feel free to leave them in the comments of our SoundCloud page. If you want to help out the show, then ratings on our iTunes and Stitcher pages would really help out a lot. They, go a long way for podcast visibility. If you enjoy cosplay or you want to see mine and Sal's faces, we have an Instagram. If you want a place just to hang out with us, we also have a Discord server with dedicated channels for topic recommendations, show improvements, nut jar offerings, and even now we're going to make one to discuss episodes. Also, if you enjoyed the show and you want to help make the show, become one of our producers like Johnny here, consider becoming a patron. Our patrons help produce the show, they're part of our team, and they get access to some bonus content that we have. Links to all these pages can be found on our website, thosenerdscast.wixsite. That's wixsite.com/home. Sal, do you have anything to plug?
All right. So if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at Salzik, on Instagram at Mr. Salzik, on my Twitch channel, which is also Salzik, and on my blog, gotamoment.com. Alan?
Sup. You can find me on Twitter at ArielEyes_. I don't post too much. I say that, but I started looking at my posts recently. I really started to pick it up. But it's a good way to get in contact with the show, or you can contact our podcast Twitter at thosenerdscast, or our email, thosenerdscast@gmail.com. Feel free to send like fun nerd questions with your social media tag to get a shout out on the show, or just business inquiries, or just wanting to talk about cool shit we should check out. Thank you again so much for listening, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.
Goodbye.